Carver-Hawkeye Arena in Hayden. To no surprise, it looks like a solid crowd tonight.
Yeah, this is what Carver-Hawkeye does. You didn't know what was going to happen a couple days before the holidays. Students back home, but Iowa City shows out once again in front of a packed Carver-Hawkeye Arena.
Holidays just around the corner, but the Hawkeye fans are here, loud and proud, and a big part of that is Caitlin Clark. She was presented with the 3,000-point ball. She surpassed 3,000 career points in the game against Iowa State. This is the first time Iowa's back in Carver-Hawkeye Arena since before that. So she was given the game ball. A lot of fans obviously here to see that. Very excited to see her play tonight. Iowa averaging just under 15,000 fans per game at home as we are underway from Carver-Hawkeye, and Iowa wins the opening tip-off. Quickly, Hannah Stuelke underneath, off the glass, no good. Rebounded by Satori Tannen.
And we talked to both Raina Harmon and Jan Jansen before the game about what you need to do, and a lot of people need to touch the ball right there. As you see, good defensive play for Hannah Stuelke.
Affolter this season averaging just over 6.5 points per game and averaging over 6.5 rebounds per game. This one's knocked away. Keika the other way, dishes it out for Gallinopoulos, puts up a shot off the glass and good.
Loyola starting with a little half-court press right away, start some pressure, deflecting a lot of passes early as we're seeing Iowa get a little bit sloppy as they haven't been able to make a bucket quite yet.
Clark tried to fight Stuelke there, but pass was jarred loose, so now the Ramblers have a chance to build a two-possession lead. This one's ripped away from Kate Martin, all alone in transition, off the glass, and drains it. Gallinopoulos hands it off to Fisher. Fisher drives into the paint, kicks it out for Keika for three. Yes, sir.
With Hannah Stuelke back in there, so Affolter is going to have to play a big role on the rebounding end, especially defensively.
Caitlin Clark in the paint, battling with Gallinopoulos, up and fouled on the way up. Drains the first. And drains the second. This women's basketball team is averaging just under 15,000 fans per game. When you compare the fan numbers, Loyola-Chicago just set their home arena attendance record as quickly in transition, Molly Davis. Mid-range floater, no good off the back iron. Rebounded by Affolter, gets her own rebound, another shot, and one. Has a chance to make this a one-point game here. Does not. Rebounded by Loyola-Chicago. Emma Nolan pulls up from three, no good back iron, rebounded by Clark. All the way up to her Stuelke behind the defense, off the glass and good. Emma Nolan has it, drives in, kicks it back out for Berg, all the way around, and a foul is called. Looking around has Clark on the far side. Clark pulls up from three, bang! Caitlin Clark from down by Keika. Quickly the other way, Fisher. Around to Gallinopoulos. She drives into the paint. Off the glass and good. Sam Gallinopoulos to 4 points.
Really good move there by Gallinopoulos with the triple threat and easy to go on as Iowa turns it over once again.
Intercepted by Nolan now. It's Keiko drives into the paint but rejected by Clark. Full court pass for Feuerbach into the paint. And she is tackled by Emma Nolan. Basketball, she needs 14 to tie Rachel Banham, 28 to tie Jerica Coley.
Feels like every single week we're talking about Caitlin Clark surpassing some sort of accolade. So
now she drives in, steps back, pull up long two, no good. Bounces in the air, but rebounded by Sydney Affolter.
And good defense there for the Hawkeyes. You want to waste that shot clock. You don't want early buckets.
Up 15-10 with 4 minutes to go in the first. Three-pointer for Berg, no good. Rebounded by Clark.
And talking a little bit with Raina Harmon, you don't want to give open threes, but you're okay with contested threes. Let Loyola make those mistakes their own. If they're scared.
Clark drives in for another two. Iowa on a 6-0 run over the last minute, a 13-2 run over the last 3.5. Allie Berg drives in, dumps it off for Moore. All the way back up to the logo for Gallinopoulos. Now she drives into the paint, pulls up from the charity stripe and drains it. Clark quickly the other way. Feuerbach thought about a three, pulls it back down. Has Stuelke at the top of the key. Stuelke now tries to drive in on the second attempt.
Didn't really seem like the position she wanted to be in there.
Drains the first. He dealt with a little bit of an injury earlier in the year. But she's back in the start.
Especially with playing with Caitlin Clark, there's a lot of focus on there. You're going to get open shots, and you're going to get fouled a lot, and especially for her, as they saw the history with her free throws last year. Really good to see her improve that, because that's just going to add to her game so much.
Transferred from St. John's a couple of years ago. This one's inside, but knocked away by the Ramblers. Quickly the other way is Fisher. All the way around for Gallinopoulos to the corner for Nolan. Drains the three.
Nope.
Kate Martin to a cutting Caitlin Clark off the glass, and good.
Really set the ball up at the top of the key. Find your open players there. I think that's going to be a lot better and limit turnovers in this game.
Moore to the corner, but a little bit of a press by Loyola-Chicago, and it works. Turns over to Fisher quickly in transition. Tries to put up a shot. Double team, gets it back, pulls up, and drains it.
What a tough shot to end the quarter. Had such a good game plan there early on. They were able to shut down Iowa's offense. Really good, but Iowa, they were really trying to push the pace there. Look for them to settle down a little bit and run some more plays from the front court.
Gallinopoulos has it for Loyola-Chicago. That's Sophia Nolan. She gets fouled on the way to Sophia Nolan. 7 for 10. They have very similar numbers as well. Sophia wearing 14, Emma Nolan wearing 41. Keep an eye out, make sure we don't screw that up. Caitlin Clark over to Kate Barton. All the way around for Affolter. Dumps inside for Clark. Kick out to Martin. Pulls up from three. Drains it.
Okay, so you're going to find open threes. When Clark backs in like that, someone's open. They have to settle down low.
To the corner for Nolan. Inside for Emma Nolan, who puts up the Nolan to Nolan connection on that last bucket. Caitlin Clark fakes a three. Step back three. No good. That one misses the mark. The other way for Iowa. Pull up three for Fisher. Drains it. Caitlin Clark over to Kate Martin. Tries to get it to Sydney Affolter, but knocked away by Emma Nolan.
Very aggressive tonight. We've seen on both offense and defense. Getting away with a little bit, I think both teams are, and refs are letting them play both sides.
Wow, great move by Sophia Nolan, cutting into the paint. Live action, Loyola-Chicago up 28-24. Caitlin Clark has it at the logo for Iowa. Over to Kate Martin in the corner, drives into the paint. Off the glass, no good. Rebounded by Fisher.
Another tough shot there for Martin. She's really trying to push the pace, draw fouls right now, but she's not getting any right now.
Kate Martin, 2 for 5 from the field. Has a three-pointer. Shivers has it all the way around for Fisher. Fisher drives into the paint, puts up a shot off the glass, and good. What a shot. Bierbach inbounds it to Clark. Gets a screen from Goodman. Clark at the logo. Dumps inside for Goodman. Off the glass and good.
Reminds you a little bit of Monica Sonato and what she could do. Clark finding the open center there is Loyola doing.
They quickly back off on the press. Caitlin Clark able to walk across the timeline. Davis to Affolter. Now Sydney Affolter driving into the paint. Puts up a shot off the glass and good.
Tough physical.
Now the other way is Gallinopoulos. At the logo, one-on-one with Davis. Gets a screen, but Affolter quickly able to switch on. Emma Nolan dumps it off for Keika, who takes a three and drains it.
These Ramblers are not afraid to shoot. We knew that coming in, what they can do around the perimeter, and they're showing it tonight.
Clark pulls up from three, no good. Rebounded by Affolter. Sydney Affolter looking around. She's going to take a shot and gets fouled on the way up and falls hard.
They've been physical, but when you do that, you do risk foul trouble as well.
Affolter knocks down both.
Something important to note, AJ, is this lineup doesn't have a lot of minutes with each other this year. We've seen a couple lineup changes throughout, but this is Affolter's second start, so definitely a different lineup coming in and out.
Something they've struggled with early this season. But Loyola-Chicago not taking too much advantage of it, only 7 points off the turnovers. Iowa also has 7 points off of turnovers to Loyola-Chicago's 7 turnovers. Kate Martin to Sydney Affolter. Affolter driving into the paint, off the glass, no good, rebounds it herself, second chance point, unable to get it to go, but fighting for those rebounds.
Yeah, and Loyola has been a physical team throughout this entire game, but it seems like Iowa's controlled the offensive glass. Need to find ways to clean up things offensively, but really good to see them controlling the offense.
Gallinopoulos brings it across for Loyola. gets a screen, drives into the paint, and shoves Kylie Feuerbach to the ground. And Hawkeye fan, give her the Heisman. Caitlin Clark brings it across, hands it off to Feuerbach all the way to Martin. Sydney Affolter has it to Stuelke in the paint. Stuelke, physical underneath, gets it to go off the glass. Stuelke up to 8 points. Clark gets it back, puts up another. Caitlin Clark up to 11 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists. Team highs for Loyola-Chicago. Sophia Nolan has 9 points. Alyssa Fisher with 2 rebounds, and Keiko with 2 assists. Tannen in for Loyola-Chicago. Dumps it off for Deptula. Nolan has it now. Into the paint. One-on-one with Martin. Tries to make a move. Off the glass. No good. Rebounded by Martin. Kate Martin over to Feuerbach. Hands it off to Clark. Standing on the logo. Thought about a 3. Pulls up from 3. No good. Front iron. Rebounded by Tannen.
Yeah, Clark frustrated with herself there. She thought about it at first, but then found the open look again as Loyola finds a way to knock another bucket from behind the arc.
Deptula drains that one. Caitlin Clark now goes to work in the paint. A whistle.
In a tight game like this, you're rarely going to see Caitlin Clark pull herself out.
Drains the second. Chivers. 3-pointer for Deptula. Drains it. 41-37 on the 4th-ranked Iowa Hawkeyes. Caitlin Clark. Pass inside for Martin off the glass and good.
Good transition, good bounce back there for Iowa. We've seen the Ramblers get a lot of multiple 3-point looks in a row, but good for Iowa to keep that and not start another run.
Ramage has it. Gets it outside. Knocked away by Kate Martin. And it's going the other way. Caitlin Clark brings it across the timeline. Directing traffic. Sydney Affolter inside for Hannah Stuelke in the paint. Physical off the glass, no good. Rebounded by Stuelke. Second chance, drains it.
On the offensive end last week, and that's where she's so strong with that size.
Had that double-double against Cleveland State. In for her 7th start of the season. Ramblers going to work underneath, but steps out of bounds after Loyola-Chicago started to build a lead. Iowa battled right back. We're all knotted up at 41 apiece.
Going back to Hannah Stuelke, we only saw 17 minutes out of her last week, and that was, limiting herself as well, but also just how the game went.
Dumps it off for Chivers. Chivers at the top of the key. Moves inside the paint. Makes a move on Feuerbach.
Really
trying to find someone. Has Berg for 3. Drains it. Allie Berg drops down another 3. Caitlin Clark with an answer. Has it. Alyssa Fisher pulls up long 2. Off the back iron, no good. Feuerbach with the rebound. Caitlin Clark in transition. Driving into the paint. Off the glass, no good, but draws the foul. Loyola-Chicago not quite near that mark, averaging 64. Clark knocks down both free throws. Gallinopoulos brings it across the timeline. Has Fisher underneath. Gets it to go. Clark taking her time, looking to take one of the last couple of shots. Pass for Kate Martin. Wide open 3. Bingo! Kate Martin up to 10 points, her second 3-pointer of the night. Corner 3 for Fisher, no good. Iowa with a 51-46 lead in the first half. Keeping it close in a hostile Carver-Hawkeye Arena as we are underway. Gallinopoulos brings it up for Loyola. Berg inside for Tannen. One-on-one with Stuelke in the paint. Now double team kicks it out for Berg. All the way around. Gallinopoulos driving into the paint. Finds Berg. That's Tannen. Looking around. One-on-one with Stuelke off the glass and good. A physical 2 points by Tannen.
Yeah, physical 2 points for sure, and that whole possession was really physical. Look for that to be a story here in the second half.
Caitlin Clark registers another assist, and Kate Martin up to 10 points. 3-pointer for Loyola around and in. Alyssa Fisher drops 3 more.
If this is how both these teams are going to want to play, we're going to see it. It's going to be fast-paced. We saw a little bit of sloppiness early in that first half, so see if there's some changes here.
Affolter. Loyola-Chicago can really take over a game. Iowa's been good. at really milking that shot clock all the way down, and right there forced an ugly shot from Keika. Now it's Tannen. Moving around in the paint, dumps it out for Fisher. Tannen again in the paint, and a whistle, and a foul.
Another physical battle there between Stuelke and Tannen, so that's going to be another thing to watch. We see them try to get Tannen involved early as Stuelke was able to provide power.
On that last shot after the tip out from Sydney Affolter, as this one's no good off the glass, quickly rebounded by Iowa. Caitlin Clark in transition into the paint, off the glass and good. Right through butter, Caitlin Clark able to zigzag through the defense and gets two more. We saw Allison Guth not very happy after a couple of plays ago now. She's in her second season as the head coach for Loyola-Chicago. She was formerly the head coach at Yale, where she set a program record 19 wins in her tenure there in one season. Hannah Stuelke comes down with the rebound. Tannen steps out for Loyola-Chicago, and in comes Keika. This was a quick shot by Kate Martin, but no good.
If she's not going to be the shooter that she was, the way she plays defense, the way she gets those steals.
And Marshall is ranked second in the nation with most games played among active players. Kate Martin is also on that list. She's tied for fifth.
Yeah, two really good leaders in the locker room, and Martin and Marshall, them deciding to come back was such a big bonus for Lisa Bluter and the Hawkeyes.
Hawkeye fans were ecstatic when they heard that news. I mean, that was a huge, huge question mark after losing two key starters and key players for Iowa after last season. Take her talents to the WNBA. It was released a few weeks ago, but she has not decided quite yet whether she wants to come back to Iowa City.
Yeah, and there's rumors there's some scouts in the crowd tonight looking at potential number 1 overall pick, and she has a big decision to make, but I think it's not the one she's thinking about right now. She has goals right now, and I think that, that starts in March.
She'll be the first to tell you that she's not focused on that. It's all right here on the court, and Sydney Affolter with a nice ovation. Pass inside for Fisher, off the glass. Great move by Alyssa Fisher.
Yeah, and the Ramblers are becoming such, they're increasing. Of course, you look at the men's side. They were, a Cinderella team back then and now have moved to the Atlantic 10 Conference. So increasingly, good spot, in the metro area of Chicago, you're down there. So definitely a good spot as we see, the growth that she's had.
4 minutes to go in this third quarter. Hawkeyes lead 66-54. Molly Davis has it. Great move into the paint. Gives it up for Stuelke and in. Gallinopoulos for Nolan. Swatted away by Emma Nolan. And now Taylor McCabe has it. Cross-court pass for Martin. Grabs it out of the air like a DB. Puts it up but draws the foul. And she'll head up to 14 points.
Kind of feels like a football game with all the physicality we've had tonight.
18 fouls. Loyola-Chicago, 18 personal fouls against Iowa. Three-point attempt by Nolan, no good. Rebounded by Clark. One thing Loyola-Chicago has certainly been doing well is sharing the rock. Only 3 players who have entered the game tonight have not scored. Everyone else has. Fisher leads the way with 12 points. Caitlin Clark drives into the paint, off the glass and good. In Iowa's history, and talking about records, Caitlin Clark, she passed Rachel Banham already. She's 2 points away from tying Jerica Coley for 7th on the all-time scoring list in all of women's basketball.
Another feat that Caitlin Clark surpassed. We kind of touched over it. The game was so intense we weren't able to really embrace it. I'm sure we'll get there at some point tonight. But, this has been such an intense game so far that, just a couple more points away and she's found another place in the record books.
Emma Nolan drains a 3. Sydney Affolter all the way across to Taylor McCabe in the corner. She puts up a 3-pointer. Back iron, no good.
She does have that. There's those foul troubles there. That's the physical player in her that, she's going to get a lot of boards. But
6 rebounds tonight. A lot of foul trouble. She's only got 1 personal foul tonight. Caitlin Clark receives the screen from Stuelke, cuts through the paint with ease through that defense.
Yeah, found a way to navigate through that traffic. I didn't think she was going anywhere there after the screen from Stuelke kind of faded, but found a way to navigate through.
Gallinopoulos drains another 3. Knight behind the back. Caitlin Clark for 3. Bingo! Holy cow, Caitlin Clark from downtown.
Lisa Bluter's kind of shaking her head over there. Not sure if that's what she wants.
After that deep 3-pointer from the Mediacom logo. Now goes to work on Gallinopoulos. Letting this clock go all the way down. About half a second between the shot clock and the game clock. Clark gets a screen from Stuelke, now double teamed at the logo, and a foul. Clark needs 43 to tie Patricia Hoskins on 6 for the all-time scoring list. She's at 33. Quickly in transition, 2-1 on the clock, ripped away by Feuerbach, but that's going to sound the horn. A near half-court shot, wouldn't have counted anyway, but a great attempt by Feuerbach on the steal. She needs 10 points to tie Patricia Hoskins for 6th on the all-time scoring list. She's already passed Rachel Banham and Jerica Coley. Stuelke back to Clark. Logo 3. No good. Front iron. And that's going to go out of bounds. Trying to stop that from happening. Kaika cuts through the defense. Around the world, but no good. Hannah Stuelke pulls down the rebound. Sydney Affolter hands it off to Clark. Back to Kate Martin. Kylie Feuerbach around the defense, into the paint, but rejected. It was called for the foul. State after her freshman year and was out all of last year with an injury, but has gotten some significant minutes, especially here. She's up to 3 points. All of them have been from the free throw line, and she necessarily wouldn't start every game, but would be a key player off the bench. That injury last year was brutal. She's played a lot tonight.
Yeah, and she was out all of last year, but the year before that had a really big impact in her first year as a Hawkeye.
Beautiful pass, gets it to Stuelke, and she finishes the job. Stuelke up to 20 points. Caitlin Clark with 8 assists, but a three-pointer from Emma Nolan. And she has been on fire. Hannah Stuelke cuts through the defense, off the glass and in.
To come out and do this again, finding her way back in the starting lineup, this is what the Hawkeyes needed before they headed home for break.
Hannah Stuelke's career high is 22 points. She hit that earlier this year against FDU. Needs 2 to tie it. Gets rejected on the way up.
Woodard's got to be really happy with her performance so far.
You can't take away either what Loyola-Chicago has been able to do tonight. 64 points. She's hit 3 from beyond the arc. A lot of players very close. Gallinopoulos, who just had that rebound, is one of them. She has 9. In transition for Sophia Nolan. Back out to Gallinopoulos. Driving into the paint. Off the glass and in. Gallinopoulos with the floater.
Yeah, really good tough.
She's 2 assists away from a triple-double. Caitlin Clark driving into the paint. Knocked away. Doesn't get the foul. She's not happy about that one. Nolan the other way. Dumps it off for Gallinopoulos for 3. Bingo. Clark nearly loses the handle on it. 5.5 minutes to go in the ballgame. Hawkeyes up 85-69. Molly Davis drives in. Back out for Martin. Pulls up from 3. Bingo.
The Ramblers really put on a show, especially in that first half.
Fisher pulls up from 3. No good. We've seen a lot of those drop tonight for the Ramblers. 13 for 30. O'Grady the other way. Off the glass and good.
Has kind of had a mixed role for the Hawkeyes this season, finding her minutes when she can, but her first action tonight, finding a way to make an impact.
This one's a kick out for Deptula. She pulls up from 3. That one's no good. Jada Gyamfi fighting for the rebound, but it's brought out by Moore. Gallinopoulos dumps it in for Moore. All the way out for Fisher for 3. No good. And it hits Deptula in the face. She smiles about it. She's okay. In transition, Taylor McCabe pulls up from 3. No good. Back iron. Rebounded by Clark. 3.5 to go in this one. Clark gets around the defense. Into the paint. Up and off the glass and in.
Really good hesitation move there by Clark. The ability for her to pass.
Gallinopoulos has it. To the corner for Deptula. Sophia Nolan, one-on-one with O'Grady. Goes up off the glass. Rejected by Addison O'Grady. Clark into Gyamfi off the glass and in. And Caitlin Clark has another triple-double.
He does it night in and night out, and finding everyone to get involved. Jada Gyamfi getting her first sight of action tonight, and Clark's going to get a well-deserved standing O as she clocks out for the final time tonight.
Another great pass, and Jada Gyamfi hasn't gotten a lot of minutes this year, but finishes the pass from Clark. And Caitlin Clark, we cannot say enough about her. The accolades continue to grow. And another triple-double. Unbelievable, Hawks. Chicago, they'll be taking on St. Bonaventure on December 21st to open up their conference schedule. They lost to the Bonnies last season 48-47, looking to get revenge.
I was going to say, I didn't.
That's my bad. I have the wrong date written down.
I don't want to tell you.
Taylor McKay puts up a three. No good. Back iron. Rebound by Ediger with a second chance point. Gallinopoulos makes a move inside. Knocked away by Kylie Feuerbach. Jada Jimfy behind the defense. Off the glass and good. The inbounder around. Now it's Gallinopoulos. Gets it to Nolan. Catch and shoot three. No good. Rebounded by Kenneth Johnson. 15 seconds on the clock. And Johnson's just going to dribble this one out. Iowa gets the victory 98-69 over the Loyola-Chicago Ramblers. Held the Ramblers to 0 over the last 5 minutes and 40 seconds. And what it was a high offensive game.